This video contains Kaiju #8 spoilers. They might not be heavy spoilers. I'm not going to go into extreme detail, but spoilers nonetheless. If you are manga only or anime only and you are not caught up on the manga, spoilers. But let me get right into this video. So, as we all know, the manga just ended, and there's been a lot of talk around it. And I swear I always say this, but I wish I had this channel earlier because a lot of the things being talked about are things I noticed way earlier on. Now, let me put a lot of what I'm saying into perspective. So, if you didn't know, it ended. A lot of people are disappointed and do not like the ending at all. A lot of people, they take it for what it is and they enjoyed the manga and they read it. You can do both. You can still enjoy it and not like the ending. Some people think because of the ending, the entire manga loses its value, making it lesser than what it could have been. No matter where you're at, something is true about this situation. The fact that Kaiju #8 does and has disappointed. And I would say it's been disappointing slightly since around this moment here, when Kafka got revealed to be Kaiju #8, and his childhood friend Mina takes him into custody. Now, this is where the anime, I think, just ended at recently, right? With these events happening. And I started to notice, well, let me say first of all, right? There's this big talk of how this was supposed to be the next Attack on Titan. And part of that is true. Only people today will sit there and make posts online. Like, I've seen multiple posts saying that's not true, that doesn't make any sense, and they're laughing at it. People take this hype shit and these anime wars and the popularity contest thing, they take that too serious. Saying something is supposed to be the next Attack on Titan is, for some reason, is like insult, or they try to make it seem like it's some sort of an insult and that this thing could never be as good as this thing I hold so high above my head, right? Attack on Titan is great. It's amazing. And this, if you were around when this manga first came out, the concept and the premise and the character having the power that the enemy faction has, that the faction that he's with is fighting against, i.e. Attack on Titan, the Titans, and this is the Kaiju. We've seen it in multiple other series and stuff like that. Maybe it's not the same exact concept all the way down to the fact that he's in this organization and the people don't know he has this power, or he finds out surprisingly out of nowhere one day that he has the power. Little subtle things might be changed. Kafka had this power while he was already in the organization. Eren finds out later on, stuff is slightly different. Either way, that concept is the same. So when it comes to Kaiju #8, the things that it failed to promise on and why it couldn't achieve what Attack on Titan did in its own way, and not the exact same thing, but in its own way, the popularity is because Kaiju #8 played with its story and its concepts too passively. It still remained extremely shonen, quote unquote, at the end of the day. Shonen is not a bad thing, but its simplicity in its writing and the depth it took to, the depth it went into on certain characters and concepts is where it fell flat. So one of the concepts I'm referring to is the fact that Kafka had this power. He's the kaiju, and he gets revealed to be Kaiju #8. This situation, as we've seen, I'll keep using Attack on Titan as an example as I keep talking about this, but you can reference it to anything else that you can kind of imagine in your head because, the correlation is there. So when he gets revealed to be this thing that, they both agreed to hate and kill since childhood, there's never any tension between the characters as far as the writing goes. There's never a moment of her doubting him or them talking. They don't even speak. I wish I had panel for panel right now. You just gotta take my word for it. He gets into custody. They ride in a helicopter. she says like a couple words like I'll talk later. He tries to say something to her, they get cut off, and they never really even encounter each other again the entire manga until the end of the series. And that's so disappointing. Whether you're even in it for the romance story or just because the writing dynamic of, this being another problem the character has to face. Now he's in the organization with people who hate him, and he has to try to prove that he's human, which they do have him try to prove he's human, and they do express that people don't like that. But the depth and the lengths it goes to, it doesn't go that far. It's more surface level, if anything. So the reveal of his character, first of all, I feel like he should have been in the arc of him. There should have been a longer arc of Kafka learning and experiencing his kaiju powers instead of that little, first season that we had, basically, that they could fit into one season of an anime of him running around and being goofy. By the way, the goofiness adds on to the fact how I said it's a shonen, because a lot of people and the writer even said since he's an older character, it's going to be more mature. That's not true, because I guess he's still restricted by the shonen curse. This main character, he's not that mature, really. Okay, yeah, he's older, and he can write him and draw him drinking beer, and stuff like that. But it's not really maturity. Like, so he doesn't seem like a mature character. I say other characters like Ichigo or something is more mature than him. As far as the anime character goes, Avatar Aang is more mature, but even though he's not mature at all. But I digress. So a concept like Kafka getting his powers revealed doesn't go as far as it could. And it's weird to say that this entire manga falls flat in the areas that it doesn't drag things out, if that even makes sense. Okay. So there's Kafka acting goofy. Like, he's never serious. Even when he's in this form, he's goofy a lot. So like, we never have these moments of like this, like the heavy air that was built up at first just dissipates immediately every time. The tension's always gone. Her bringing him in fell flat. Okay, now let me talk about another concept real quick, because I guess I summed it up. Like, the concepts that it touched on and the characters and the depth of certain things about his writing never went as far as it should have. Okay, Attack on Titan, whether you like it or not, it gives you a result from certain actions that happen with the character, like whether like I said, whether you like it or not. So certain results might not be satisfying for you, but at least it goes into depth about what happens after this cause, okay, you know what I mean? So like, Eren gets discovered as the Titan, and then a lot of stuff starts happening and unfolding because of that. Whether you like all of it or not, a lot of stuff starts unfolding. And this, only like 3 things happen. The Mina thing is nothing. That is irrelevant. Nothing happens with him and Mina. Most of the people, I said that people don't like him, but like, if you know from reading it, because I'm speaking like, maybe you haven't seen it or not. I don't know why the spoiler people are still sticking around, but yeah, like, they don't really dive into anybody having some particular hatred against him or anything like that, or that's never a super heavy point or anything that he has to deal with on his shoulders. And it is there for a minute, but it's never really there that long, and it's never really as heavy as it should be or could be. It always comes down to that. Things don't drag out as long or as heavy as it could be. Even him seeing this vestige of an ancient warrior, connecting to the fact that his kaiju power is like, I forgot exactly how it was. It's been a minute since I read it, but it's basically like the power that he has been getting passed down. The hatred for kaiju has been accumulated, and he's dealing with that hatred as well. All those concepts that happen with the beast that's inside of him trying to take over his body and all that sort of stuff, it gets introduced randomly, because at first it didn't even seem like his powers were that type. But then, okay, fine, the author wants to give us more details and development on this power and the kaiju ability that the main character has. That's fine. but the way he develops it, first of all, it feels like it's slightly disconnected from what's been going on already. But the idea of this sort of thing existing isn't completely foreign, so it still somewhat works. So you start accepting the fact that okay, he has this kaiju inside of him, but then when you start to like feel like, well, he doesn't even have free agency over his own body, it starts to feel like, is the character even really strong? Like he's barely in control, and this thing is the thing that's fighting for him and all that sort of. I don't like that, because it feels like the idea of him trying to build himself up to reach to the main his childhood goal to stand next to Mina. It feels like that's slightly diminished through the fact that his power isn't his own, even though technically it wasn't his own from the beginning. But once you start really putting that into perspective even more, and you're drawing that line super hard and rigid, and you're really letting people know that, then you can't look at it the same anymore. It's like Demon Slayer. Even if we subtly knew that the powers weren't really real, the fact that the author tells you and draws that hard line in the sand, and no, that's imagination. There is no water. There is no any of that. That you can never look at it the same. It's a different perspective. And I can give you a couple other examples of different series or shows where that type of thing happens because of the same reason. But I don't know. I guess that's a good enough example right there. I'll leave that one right there. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of ranting now because I've been feeling this for a while, bro. I remember, and I'll talk about this panel in a second, but I remember back when the manga first came out. For the people who still watching and listening, appreciate it. I'm talking about some real shit, right? I didn't have a channel back then, but I always had these thoughts, and I'm watching shit. I'm just looking at shit like, okay, yeah, I see people having this opinion about this and that, but I think that's off. They just going with the popular opinion. This shit was always really good, but I remember I was disappointed with the way things were getting dealt with back then. I remember talking about it with somebody online, just a random person, commenting on Twitter or some shit like that. I made a comment, and then I just seen how people viewed it. They didn't see the problems. They didn't see them. Now that the whole story's over and Kafka doesn't end up with Mina in any way, shape, or form, or there's no closure for that story, and there was barely any tension still there. Like, it was left in the air until this final. Oops, my bad. I hit the mic. It was left in the air into this final battle, and they kind of reunite on a battlefield fighting. This dude. Spoiler alert: that giant kaiju is her. Spoiler alert, you can click off now. It's her father. Okay, this guy. It's her father who gets turned into a kaiju, basically, or possessed by one of the other kaijus. And that whole thing, I'm not going to say it leads to nothing, but it kind of got dragged out just to kind of feel like it's getting rushed. This is one of the things that did get dragged out. And it didn't feel like there was really any progression for the characters in any way, shape, or form. While this kaiju was off on the side, and the whole cast knew they had to prepare for a battle. Right? They knew they had to prepare for a battle and fight this kaiju number 9. There was like the only things that happened were characters like going through these little simple training arcs of I have to get stronger, and we're getting flashbacks of the blonde hair girl and her mother and why she wants to do this, and she just gets stronger in this way that like it kind of works, but at the same time, it's like, well, we know they're going to get stronger. So, like, if you're not making it interesting or adding anything else around it, then they just got strong for the sake of getting strong. And now they're going to get into a fight, still probably get whooped, and then willpower and, push their suits to 100% to get out of the situation or whatever, right? So, outside of that part, they had the interesting power system attached to that with, the simple, like, people who train using these things that aid their natural abilities. So they got these power suits that are based on the kaijus, the monsters that they've been fighting. That's not completely foreign to multiple other types of shows. You probably think of other examples where they're using maybe demon hunters are using a simplified form of the demon's magic to fight and kill demons and stuff like that, or something like that, right? I'm not going to digress too far, but yeah, so there's a lot of things that this manga didn't do and deliver 100%. If you're still watching and you're interested in like even hearing this shit, I will make a full video, like a more, organized, cohesive video about this. This is just a couple screenshots. I can kind of better dissect things later if I really think about it and want to do it. But yeah, like the whole idea of like him being like this is him and he's this will is completely willed. This is his transformation, like how Attack on Titan does it. Because there's a lot of things, like I said, whether you like it or not, there's a lot of things that Attack on Titan does really right. Okay, and there's a lot of things this does right, but there's a lot of things it did wrong too. Like I said, the speed boost into this and the fact that they're fighting in the final battle, and for this final battle, like there was never any interaction with them either. Like during the training arcs, he didn't train with her directly too much. They didn't talk. They didn't go through the whole thing. She never expressed how her opinion about him being a kaiju. Like they never even talked about that. We never got to see too many of the other characters perform outside of like one shot panels or one shot moments with them doing the attack or some shit like that, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of things that fell flat on. I'm not gonna keep ranting about it because I'm not trying to talk shit about the manga. I'm not saying it's bad, but it definitely has been disappointing, and it's always funny to see how the crowd moves because I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is disappointing. The ending's disappointing, this and that," and like, bro, a lot of these things have always been a problem. Okay, the writer's always been writing this way, and it's over now. I could talk about that with My Hero and how I noticed My Hero was going downhill since Stars and Stripes. Okay, and I've been reading My Hero not since it first came out, like after the anime. I've been reading it since the anime. And JJK, I've been reading JJK since the first chapter dropped. I was reading JJK since the first chapter dropped. Nobody even knew about the shit. Then I see the anime comes out. It's the best shonen in the world. I always thought it was really. I always thought it could have been the best, one of the best when I was reading it. But my point in mentioning JJK is, even when that started going downhill, I kind of saw or felt like I saw the signs in the author's writing of where now he's starting to write different when it's could be when we're encroaching upon a new arc in the story. I almost stuttered the fuck out of that. When we encroaching upon a new arc in the story and we're getting closer to a new arc, I feel like you can see when they're starting to shift their writing a lot more, because the arc has to shift the narrative in some way, shape, or form. It has to shift perspective, or theme is doing a little bit of something, right? So in JJK, for me, it was when the culling games started. I'm not saying the culling games are bad, because I do like a lot of things about it, but that's when I started seeing the shift in the writing and how, okay, he's gonna start that. He's about to have a lot of shit just happen, no explanation, and then he's gonna explain it, and then like it's just it was a lot of shit going on. But this is not a JJK video. I'm not about to go into that, and I'm not about to spoil that at all. You're not about to get spoil bombed randomly. I'm not about to talk about that. But the culling games, that's the next season of the anime. Check it out. If you fuck with it, you fuck with it. But I will talk about it when it comes here, even though it's the anime, because I didn't get the chance to talk about it in the manga. So I will be talking about the anime. But I think this is about it for me. Like this type of thing right here, this didn't even happen. We didn't even see this like that, bro. Like this like the themes, like if you look at the art, right? The art of a series gives you a type of, what do I want to say, man? This is like, I don't know, this is bonus stuff in the video. I'm not going to edit this. This is the bonus part of the video. But when you look at the certain art of the manga, like the background arts and like the extra arts and the cover arts and the additional things that didn't make it into the manga from the outside, like think about One Piece, the cover arts. Think about Naruto, all those different pictures of the crew chilling, doing this and that. Bleach, you know, everybody wearing their clothes. Ichigo got the headphones on. They walking about the subway station chilling, you know, drinking some pop or some shit, drinking soda, you know, eating some popcorn or some shit, whatever. Like art like this And there's other art in Kaiju #8 when you see the crew, like, you know, they're all geared up, or, you know, Kafka is chilling with Mina in the white lion, or, you know, the white tiger, or, you know, Mina is just chilling with her white tiger on her own. Look at the anime intros, the type of energy and the type of feeling, the vibes that they try to give you. This vibe that you get from here, in this picture, and I'm not even sure if this is. I mean, yeah, this is official. Bro. This wasn't really like that, bro. It wasn't like that. I hate to tell you that. It was not like that. It should have been. Like he had the perfect goalpost lined up to make it like that. It could have been the next Attack on Titan. It should have been the next Attack on Titan. So all the people who say it is not and it shouldn't have been, and either whether you like or hate Attack on Titan, that's not the point. It's about how hard it hits. This shit hits hard. Maybe the anime is gonna make it hit even harder. I don't know. The animation is a main thing nowadays. Okay, I will talk about that like I have multiple times. I will make a video about that. But animation is a main thing nowadays. You throw some good animation on some shit, man, it's the best thing in the world. The best story in the world. It's the best anime in the world. Best shonen. It's the hypest character. The main character is the best. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Look at Solo Leveling. Cough, cough. And I'm not saying that to hate on that either, because I fuck with Solo Leveling. I was, believe it or not, I was reading that shit when it first came out. I remember before, like a couple years ago, like was it 2 years ago now, when the famous panel started going around with the stone statue smiling real hard, looking crazy. The stone statue smiling. That panel went around, made the shit real famous. People wondering, what is this? What is that? People, everybody's figuring out about the manhwa and the Chinese manga. I guess after Tower of God and all that shit, they're figuring out about Chinese manga and that the Chinese mangas are actually good. I've been knowing about these. Okay, I've been reading these shits too, bro. Go read the Tales of Demons and Gods. Okay, go look when that shit came out. I've been reading that shit since like it was on chapter 100, 200. Tales of Demons and Gods. So. Like, yeah, so people started figuring out about the Chinese and the Korean mangas and shit, and they go and read them, and they found out about Solo Leveling a couple years ago, or the anime, or like a year, yeah, about like a year or two ago, or the anime got announced, I guess. So it was about 2 years ago, maybe 3. They found that shit out. Anime comes out, it's the best thing in the world. They think. They now all of a sudden they're gonna start slowly leaning off of that and saying that all he does is aura farm. All he does is aura farm. And everybody's not lost. Some people are not lost. I'm glad it's not like completely zero hope, because I've seen some people question these things. I've seen some people wonder, like, bro, why is everybody just talking about aura and power scaling like idiots? And you say a character street level, but then that shit's so general sometimes, and you don't know what the fuck it means. Like, it's so stupid. It's so dumb. But I think that's it for me. This is a long video. Okay, I will make a video about the power scaling. You know, I'll say one more thing. Another sneak peek, additional thing I'll say in this video, the power scaling subject. Think of this, right? This is why I think the power scalers are dumb. And this is when I realized I was right. Think about this, right? And this is gonna be real quick. Naruto, Uzumaki, the Viltrumite, Omni-Man. 2 characters from 2 different worlds, okay? The power scaler's argument is Naruto can fight Omni-Man because both characters are planetary. How are both of them planetary in the power scaler's definition? Let's think. Because Omni-Man blows up, well, we all know Omni-Man blows planets up and shit, right? Omni-Man he can blow up a planet. He can blow up a planet. He can kill an entire planet of people as well. Naruto, we haven't seen him blow up a planet, but he says, technically, according to the series, the Nine-Tails Fox has enough power and chakra to just kill all the humans on the earth, like a scorched earth approach. So that's planetary. That dumbass sentence sounds so fucking stupid to me. You're telling me that you saying, and don't get me wrong, right? Technically, That feat, and that's another word I hate. That feat is of a planetary scale or level, because if you're laying waste to all life on the planet and destroying buildings and mountains and trees on the planet, you're like leveling a whole planet, like Attack on Titan rumbling. All right, you're leveling a whole planet with all the people. That's technically planetary, right? But that's where it kills me, because it's everything's so fucking technical, but they speak in so much of they speak in general terms so much. So Naruto planetary in that way, you're telling me, is he strong enough to kill a Viltrumite who can fly through a planet with his fucking body? Just because Naruto can burn a planet alive and blow up some mountains and shit, he can't blow up the planet like Goku or none of them. You telling me that, like, that doesn't make any sense? So maybe that went on a little too long, but that's my little side note of why the fuck I think power scalers are stupid, and it has nothing to do with Kaiju number 8. Meaning, I have to end this video because now I'm digressing too hard. I'm out.